perfect angles.
Never has flash cooldown either. I don't know how that works.
That is just not fair. We can see some of the bans coming through. Kalista going to be staying on the ban list for now. Mbessa, Poppy, Skarner, and Gnar all going to be joining that ban list. Kalista, while it is incredibly high prio, the times it's let through, it only has one win actually so far. Got that win, Doggo playing it earlier today, I believe moving it to 1-4 so far in the tournament. When it comes through, it feels like teams have just kind of laid a trap and had a really good answer for it, which is always interesting to me. You know, if you are playing a best of 5, sometimes it can be powerful, especially if you're starting on the red side, you're playing more games on red side. Hey, maybe you let something through and you try to lay one of those traps. You don't have so many required bans, but instead it's going to be Aurora here as that final ban, and we'll see where TES wants to take us.
Respect being paid towards Creme, even though, again, has had a rough one in the tournament. One of the earlier
Aurora
games,
has just had a rough one in the
Aurora,
tournament.
I think Aurora has just not looked good, yeah. But I remember the first Aurora game he played wasn't a win, but not necessarily his fault, as this is the one pick that we have seen be prioritized. Even often when we do see the Kalista, this is the thing that you get for it in return. Is going to be both a great takeaway from Viper as well as a good pickup here for Jackie. Ashe is something that we often see as the next pick, as a response into it. But we're very early on, so that's really pick of the litter when it comes to AD carries this early on in the draft.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we were kind of talking through this even when we got to Game 5. There are still so many AD carries that you kind of really think of as pretty powerful available. It is going to be the Peanut Vi. A lot of people really not a fan of this pick, but Peanut has been making it work. You have that dive. It can be very difficult for Varus, and even if you want to go Edge of Night, it's just going to get smited off, and then you're going to be hit by that ulti. Ashe comes through, as you were talking about, and could have implications for the drafts going on further, because Ashe and Varus are the two picks that people have been using to actually beat the Kalista. So, you know, you can't really leave that Kalista off the ban list if some of these answers aren't there. So, could be something to watch out for in the future games.
The only other pick that I would think they could pick up, given that the Vi was picked, was something like the Kai'Sa. Obviously, your laning phase is going to be sacked, but it does synergize well. This gives you a lot more pressure options. And Hanwha Life, they're on red side. Depending on how TES draft, they're going to probably save counterpick for Zeus, but there is an opportunity to get counterpick for Delight as well. Even though I think Delight has definitely been most known for good reason for his melee picks, we've also seen him perform very admirably on a lot of other style of champions, as the Sylas coming through blind as... Oh! Boy!
This is a banger matchup. This is like the two melee guys.
It's the 2022 Worlds matchup. This matchup
Who won that, by the way?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Also,
there was
Zeka,
some mid laner who was pretty good who won that year.
We might get some evidence. Zeka has been known to like his own skin a lot, but that is an explosive matchup. Can go either way depending on the execution, depending on the early jungle attention, and that is... Those are some banger 2v2s that we have there. Zhao and Sylas obviously insanely strong, but particularly post-6, the explosive power of that Vi and Akali is something that they're going to have to really respect.
And you also have two ADs here that can be food for a Sylas or an Akali who get really going in this game. So, so goes the mid-jungle 2v2. Could go the game. We'll have to see as some different options here being banned out. Both sides banning out supports. It is going to be the Karma here for HLE, as well as the Braum taken away by TES.
I think they're going to probably, knowing Hanwha Life, go for something like an Aatrox here on 4, blind for Zeus, and they get counterpick for Delight. Do note, they don't ban the Renata. I think Renata has been a pick that is insanely strong, but there have been a number of decent counters. The Nico first and foremost that we have seen in it.
Struggles into range for sure.
And that always makes it kind of awkward to pick up blind, but if you save your counterpick, then obviously Hanwha Life have the opportunity to pick it up themselves. As there is the Renata. Okay, so TES don't want to get into that whole situation. Might mean that we just see, what, like a Nautilus pickup here to go together with the Vi.
I mean, we have 6, 7 supports, if you want to call the Poppy, already taken off the table because of all these support bans, and we have the 2 removed from last game. So a lot of those primo options are gone. Things like Nautilus, though, still available. Rakan is gone from last game, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, there are some of those big picks, but we'll see what they want to look for here. Is it going to be something like the Aatrox, as you were predicting? So it's going to be the Rell. So they want to save that 5th pick, counter pick for top, and honestly, who can blame them? Zeus has just been so damn good. We saw what he did, with the Rumble, obviously was preyed on early. Now the Nautilus will be taken away on the other side. So both supports getting their hands on some of those really high tier engage champions, and it will be the Renekton blind. Does he go to the Quinn again? I'm not expecting it, but did bring out the Cleanse Quinn. Last time we saw this matchup blinded into him. And does Zeus have the confidence to just slam it down right here in Game 2 against TES? Or will it be something a little bit more stable as you were expecting?
Well, the comp is already inherently volatile, right? With Akali, I think you're kind of priced into that. Whichever team is
going to make it even crazier.
Make it even more volatile. It's not. It's going to be Zeus. Just going back to his Aatrox, the only player that we've seen consistently look good on this pick, obviously has had a good amount of variety in his builds as well. In this one, I expect it just to be the standard, Bruiser Aatrox. We've seen some Cycloblade. We haven't seen the Electrocute variant in a while. Both of these two compositions, when you're ahead, everything is wonderful, right? You have great engage potential on either side. You have a ton of backline threat. You have great lockdown. But this is two effectively melee compositions with exception of the two AD carries. It's a stat check game. So these early skirmishes, even more so than in the last game, I think going to very quickly give us a good idea. Because there are, of course, theoretical angles, where eventually maybe with a side lane angle, you can try and get something done. But I do really think that about 15 minutes in, we'll have
it's going to be a brawl.
It's going to be a bloodbath, Azael.
I'm excited for it. We'll see if TES can come out on top. When the punches start flying, they're going to need to, in this one, you have to feel like going down 2 games against HLE, not the start that they'd be looking for. The fans have come out in full force here in Lol Park for HLE, of course, the hometown crowd. Always going to be standing behind them, but TES has some supporters out there as well, and it has been fun to see a lot of the international fans showing up for their teams, even here in Korea.
Oh, I'm glad to see that the fan signs on either side don't disappoint. Some beautiful drawings here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
As
I can do a stick figure, like one of the little suns in the corner with a couple lines.
I am also not necessarily that gifted or practiced, depending on how you look at that creatively. As this is very straightforward. Whichever comp rolls ahead is going to have a really good time. Whichever comp falls behind is going to have the worst of times. And we'll see what we're going to get here in the second game.
Second game going to be starting off as we get the fan cheers here in Lol Park. Decisively favored towards one team.
yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Shocker.
I mean, one of the most fun things I think about this HLE roster is the opportunity that Zeus has to kind of forge his own path, right? He has had incredible success on T1. But when you are on T1, you will always be a little bit second fiddle to Faker, rightfully the greatest player of all time by a mile, right?
Just a little.
Exactly. But this gives Zeus that opportunity to kind of go out on his own and show that he can have international success, that he can be the face of a team, that he can be that leader on a team, and really be that difference maker. And obviously the year starting off exactly how he would want. I think T1 was looking pretty good, early on in the LCK Cup, but it was HLE who came out on top at the end.
It is important to note that they were what almost amounted to an open nexus away from straight up beating Hanwha Life back when it was still single elimination. And for TES, mostly, honestly, from an org perspective, this is an opportunity, as we have highlighted, right? Even if you lose this first game, if you end up winning this series, you end up somehow winning the tournament, you find that revival, the rest will be forgiven and will be forgotten. But if they end up getting taken down by Hanwha Life here, and again, as you highlighted, even the way that they made it through groups was something that wasn't very convincing.
No, I mean, it was kind of out of their own hands, right? They were hoping for a little help from HLE, and now maybe hoping for a little hope from HLE again, as they're going to be looking to try to come back. Early Ignite, going to force the cleanse there onto Jackie. Is the leg happy to trade that through. But despite there being a lot of big names here over on TES, a lot of them hadn't actually won the LPL in quite a long time. For Creme, it was his first title. He's going to go in with the level up. Kingslayer not going to heal much, and Zeka might be just getting a solo. will be the early flash from Creme. Gets him back out to safety, but JackeyLove hadn't won the LPL since 2020. Crisp hadn't actually won it since he won Worlds back in 2019. So it had been a long time for these guys who are obviously still world champions, obviously still, you know, at that top level, but hadn't been having the same level of regional success. So I think there was that kind of buzz around TES that isn't always there because they have had that reputation as, you know, not always meeting up to the expectations internationally. But this time, you know, they win the title, and people were feeling pretty good about them. They felt like they were more consistent. Kanavi, though, maybe going to get found out and will be pushed back by Delight there.
As Zeka is indeed playing his own skin. And that's why I think this game in particular just matters so much, right? Being able to at least bring it to a 1-to-1 makes the series feel a lot more playable, given that TES in their losses have just been swept, right? It's been something, or at least at first stand, obviously, been something that really has been plaguing them. When first match goes awry, they just kind of fall apart.
That's just sick, man. What a flex to be playing your own world skin in a game like this. You gotta love it.
He's also up a wave and forced to flash. We didn't really mention it too much, but not going to be feeling too bad, as doesn't even feel the need to invest the teleport there as he makes his way back to the wave.
Yeah, you can see Peanuts down on that bottom side, grabbing the scuttle. It's going to be spotted out, but they're going to be going in. It is going to be Crisp. That's the target. Will he try to flash out to safety? They're trying to block this dredge line, not allowing him to get through. He does flash. He does find it, but Peanut, nice sidestep from Crisp, but I just don't think it even matters. He can't get back to the tower. Peanut will claim first blood.
This can't keep happening. There have been so many of this exact play at first stand, right? They're so far up in the lane. Peanut barely has to give anything up, right? He's going to be able to get his crab. It's a little behind, sure. Still has to pick up his wolves, but we'll see. Kanavi maybe can steal away some Krugs in return, but you're not going to take that. Kill did go over to Peanut, so at least for the state of the lane, it's not the end of the world. But Vi getting ahead early is exactly what we're talking about, Azael.
It really is, and Delight didn't even have to use his flash or his ignite. I mean, he burned that earlier to trade out for the cleanse, so a bad kind of goes to worse when you think about it that way, because Crisp is now down that flash, making his presence known here around mid lane, but Peanut and Delight are there. Zeka has the backup, and this could be a difficult wave to crash as a result. We know Kanavi up on that top side, taking down the grab, so he could move down there if he wants. And the swap is already going down. Viper already up towards that top side. JackeyLove is down towards bot, so will be Zeus moving down to answer the pushing wave from Varus.
Zeka keeping the lane in an awkward spot there. So Delight will spot Kanavi. Kanavi is going to get a ward for his troubles, as we have seen these swaps come through very consistently from either team. Levels thus far, no crazy leads. Just at main goal difference that we see is just the kill that Peanut was able to pick up. Sitting on that early tunneler, always going to be feeling great.
And you can see Zeus was actually taking a lot of minion damage there, trying to hold it off the tower. Peanut, we know, is going down towards that bottom side, so there could potentially be an angle if Jackie overstays, if he can hold that freeze. Is getting quite a bit of chip damage on himself, though, so does have to be a little bit respectful of that. Zeka now ticking over to level 6. Creme knows it and will just back off.
And do not forget, Zeka still has his TP available, which gives him a lot more flexibility, playing around his waves as
the wave was crashed in, but now it could be problems here for JackeyLove. Zeus is very low, but they're likely to look for it now. Level 6. Jackie has to flash very early. Peanut connects there on the ball breaker. Zeus flashing, following. Jackie running, trying to get back to the tower, and he will survive there. Trade of flashes, gets out the ult. Not bad from JackeyLove.
And a sigh of relief, I imagine, from the TES fans, as Jackie does stave off his that. Also trades flash for flash, so doesn't actually end up going down in that. And they are getting the grubs towards the top side of the map. So a very tense moment, a scary moment, but one that ends up favorably for TES, as Hanwha Life invests some resources, don't actually get what they're looking for. It does mean that Jackie, obviously on the Varus, is going to have to be very careful, as Delight does have his flash available. So we'll see how this ends up panning out in the future if Jackie is unable to join a fight later on because of the fact that he doesn't have that summoner. But in the immediate trade, I think TES not going to be too sad.
Pretty aggressive move here from Delight. Going to commit the Ignite already, but the rest of the team is actually coming in first. Creme is here, stolen ulti from the Akali. But Zeka arrives, Peanut arrives, and they are looking like they're down to scrap. Viper has moved down from top lane.
Red
and
buff
is around here. 4v4, 8 men for the red buff.
Can't
Who's
give it
gonna
up.
get it? Peanut looking, fishing, Delight gonna threaten. He goes in, but he gets knocked out of it. He's gonna be pushed back, but Zeka's in the back line on Jackie. Jackie has no flash, and he's down to Zeka already. On the other side, though, it's Creme taking down the other AD carry. Kanavi flashing out from Peanut. Zeka looking, doesn't find him with the R2. He gets locked up by Chris. Is he gonna get knocked out by Creme? He is. Creme looking for more, trying to take down Peanut. Can he block the vault breaker? He can't do it. He gets out to safety, but still a great fight for TES on the top side.
TES take the gold lead, and these early skirmishes are exactly what we're going to be talking about. Delight thought he saw an angle, but what a cancel to come through there. If that crash down connects, I think this fight is a complete wash, but Crisp there with the hook gets Delight, gets the aftershock, stays alive for so long. And Viper just take it out of the fight basically immediately. Zeka has to invest a lot just to ensure that they get the kill onto Jackie.
I mean, that was so big as well. The sidestep from Kanavi there, because Zeka doesn't have vision, so he's predicting that he's continually moving to the side there. So he uses the stolen R2, as we are on this replay. And
okay, but TES still got feats.
I can just hear the Creamcasters just laughing out loud, echoing through Lol Park. It is a bit of a funny kill, and just like that, you look down, and Peanut has 3 kills, kind of reminiscent of last game, and not something you want to think about if you are a TES fan, because we know what Peanut got done with that. Creme gets a good initial trade, but Zeka able to hit him with a shuriken flip and trades back quite well. Zeka now getting low. We can see Peanut over the wall, and Delight here to cover once again as Viper down towards that bot side, catching the wave that has been pushed up from 369. And it is both teams very, very even. 100 gold separating the 2 squads. We are pretty much dead even, neck and neck. And the question remains, can TES turn that into a team fight victory? That is what they were lacking in game number 1. Can they execute and get that performance that we have been waiting to see from Jackie, who has been so stellar in his own league and just hasn't been able to actually bring that to first stand thus far?
Creme also going to be feeling a lot better after what was a rough Yone game on the Sylas. Thanks to picking up those early kills, even with the CS disadvantage, still up a good amount of gold. And there is, as we talked about, whichever team gets ahead, as we'll see.
6ix9ine going to pop the Dominus, but doesn't have vision, can't actually chase. It might result in a plate or 2. Crisp going to be looking here. Kanavi, not sure if he was actually spotted by that ward. I don't know if they saw him right around the corner, but it is going to be Peanut starting up the Dragon.
Oh, another 4v4.
And Zeka moving down. Creme is looking to try to get involved here as well. 369 still up on that top side. Delight has an angle. Viper sectioned off from the squad, though. This could be a little bit difficult here from HLE. And Chris is going to go in at the same time. They find the arrow onto JackeyLove. He's locked down. He's going to get burst down. The first kill goes the way of HLE. Zeka crushing the fight. It's HLE working their magic time and time and time again. TES cannot get away with the fight. Creme will survive for now, but we'll see if he can even get out. Peanut is hunting, and Creme is on the wrong side of the map. He's going to try to make a run for it, but Peanut has the ball breaker, gets the shutdown. 5, 0, and 2 for the Nut God.
And as the attempt from TES to find a skirmish like the last one, it doesn't work out. They're down a level 6 on the support. Delight has his Magnet Storm. Same can be said, and as Jackie goes down immediately, so much of the damage that this comp needs doesn't actually remain
back
there.
To live. 369 looking for a solo kill. Zeus has already flashed out, and is he going to be able to finish him off? Doesn't look like he's going to commit. Delight moving up here. Crisp is around as well, and will be pushing back. Trade of flashes between them, but to me, so much of it was about the angle that Viper found off of vision, finds the arrow through the whole team. I thought he was in the wrong spot, that he wasn't going to be able to contribute on the fight, but Peanut goes in with the ulti, and he just tags JackeyLove over the wall with the arrow. Jackie can do nothing.
Well, particularly with the flash down, playing that early skirmish is really hard, right? There's so much engaged, there's so much CC that is available. TES is going to pick up the full 6 grubs, it looks like. So that does mean that the turret pushing potential is going to get bolstered. Nothing of the sorts for Hanwha Life, as looking at the itemization, Creme actually sitting on a fully completed item. A lot of components for Zeka, as we have both the Morellos for Zeka as well as the Executioners for 369 to deny the healing of the Aatrox and the Sylas respectively. And so the thing with VODS that's always really interesting to me is that I think it feels better to play into a fed Vi than a fed Wukong. The problem is there was one player
Both
for which
still feel bad.
don't get me wrong.
It feels better to have a broken arm than a broken leg.
Well, I'm an optimist, Azael. Sue me. But the real issue, as I think we saw in that fight as well, is that for one player, that isn't the case. Because the Vi is going to just
the guy who dies
pop.
every single fight.
There's going to be where normally...
Like, well, it's not so bad. For Jackie it is.
You know, well, for Jackie it actually is. Because you know that could be the whole team. If it was a book, I don't know.
True. You're not wrong. Wukong kind of like a AoE Vile, you know? There you go. Fair enough.
Did I stretch it too far?
No. I'm with you. I mean, I agree.
I don't feel like you're with me,
I'm
Azael.
fully with you. We're aligned. It is a lot harder for a Vi to 1v9 the game. I'm fully with you.
Okay.
I'm just, you know, I'm fighting the good fight for all the AD carries out there, right? Who are like, but what about the Varus?
Yeah, well, I don't think...
Because he is going to get R'd, and then he's going to get punched, and then
really,
he's going to be dead.
Either AD carry is going to have to play an extremely clean game here to have a good time, right?
Where's the backup AD carry for when the first one dies?
Yeah, neither of them have any.
No backup AD carry.
Maybe bring back, you know, the mid lane as old. They're looking for something here.
I don't think you can go over the wall. No. I think they were hoping that Peanut would walk up into that topside jungle, maybe try to go for a little bit of vision. It is the light over there, though, that is covering Zeus. So Peanut, of course, didn't need to do it. Can just go back to base and
still
is
looking for that
close to that second item here. Delight gonna pick the roses. And Peanut now out on the map here, incredibly strong. They are going to find him. Will they be able to burst him down? Delight in a lot of trouble, incredibly low. The Ignite is committed. Kanavi should be able to get him. The Depth Charge does follow. Wind becomes lightning, and Delight becomes dust. Zeka, though, is coming in. Nice hook there from Chris. But can they win this 2v2? They got to buy time for Creme. The Ashe arrow is going to connect, but it's Kanavi that's the target. He's trying to get out of there. Creme trying to get in here with the Proto Belt. We can see Jackie on the side, though. He's going to have to get out. Flashes the safety as Viper arrives. Peanut shut down by Kanavi. Creme is chasing Zeka, and it's Viper versus the world, but in comes Creme. It's never a fair fight for the AD carries. This time it's Creme that gets the advantage. Jackie survives. TES takes the fight.
TES, a great moment there, as it is again Delight that gets picked off, struggling a lot more. He is getting targeted. A long time committal here, but it ends up working out for TES. Crucial is that Delight doesn't actually get to proc either his passive or the Aftershock until it's already too late. You see the hesitation there as well, as Peanut is like, do I go over? Ends up going, but it's a lot later, which means that there is an opportunity here for Creme to also make his way over. And so much damage gets thrown into the Nautilus specifically, and I think particularly that shutdown on Peanut, absolutely huge. He was, what, 5 and 2, maybe 6 at that point.
And Creme got ISO gold on top lane tower while we're watching in the picture-in-picture.
The replay.
Last game, he was, really kind of put out of it. This time, he's in a much stronger position. He's, 550 gold, even with a bunch of kills being grabbed there by Zeka. So has the ability to potentially carry. They grab the feats as well, so they have the upgraded boots now through here. You can see in the lane economy snapshot powered by MasterCard. It is top and mid. The big advantage is here for TES.
And the big thing here is that, yes, JackeyLove had to use his flash, but so had a Viper. And everything that we say about Jackie is arguably even worse for Viper, because Jackie, of course, haven't really talked about it yet. Sometimes with Nautilus, you do see the on-hit variety, but in this game, great choice. You go for lethality, and his effective range is not going to be nearly as detrimental when his flash is down.
Stop complaining. It's even worse for the other AD carry.
Yes, that is actually the takeaway. Man, AD carries have it so hard.
They do sometimes. Yeah. And other times they have it pretty good. Sometimes you got the Ivern, you got the
Ivern, Lulu, and your Jinx.
Exactly. Yeah. You're getting tucked into bed, and you're carried over. Oh, take this kill. Oh, take that tower. Take my jungle camps. But other times, it's tough out there. Could be the struggle.
This is, you're not giving anything. You have to fist fight for every single bit of gold that you get.
Exactly.
As Creme.
You want that quarter on the ground, you got to fight to the death for it.
Okay, you're not getting that quarter for free. As the Dragon now getting started up. Feats are here as a committal. Hanwha Life.
Arrow going to be able to tag Chris. Zeka has an angle here, but Chris not the target that he wanted. The TV's going to come in as well, but this is Creme. They're going to try to turn on him. He flashes out to safety immediately. Zeus is the target. Kanavi trying to get in the back line, and it's Peanut that's flying in. It's a Varus that's in trouble, and it's a Varus that's down already. Creme trying to make an impact, but he can't do anything. Zeus living for so damn long. 369 though, chopping him up, but he doesn't have the damage. Viper will survive. Viper will knock down 369. Not before he gets another. It's a 5 for 3. It's a triple for 369, but it's HLE dancing on him.
The Dragon goes to TES, which stops that from being a complete disaster. But as we talk about the plight of AD carries, I want you to pay attention to the one man that at no point is threatened in this fight. As we take another look, very early arrow gets used. 369 is attempting to keep Zeka away from his backline. But the TP top, a lot of damage goes into Zeus. That's an Aatrox, you're not going to be able to burst him down. And look at Viper. Creme and Crisp are just not able, I think. Creme thinking he doesn't have the damage to actually take down Viper, even without his sums. And yes, 369 is able to still take down Delight. 5-level lead, by the way. Delight not feeling quite as tanky as he'd like to be. But the fact that Viper is able to just go completely unchained in that fight. And that's, again, without his summoners available, and now able to pick up a good amount of gold. That back is going to be juicy. Mid lane turret not quite picked up, but they did get the Herald off of that.
Look at Creme, just couldn't really get anything done. I mean, Jackie as well got targeted so early. Viper was the difference, standing and firing, even with 369 having a heroic performance. I mean, Creme TP's in, immediately has to flash and abscond out. So he doesn't have his spells, right? He's just trying to get back and get involved. But when you spend the flash and you spend the E, just arriving to not instantly die because of poor TP placement, all of a sudden Viper's eyes light up. He says, you don't have your spells? I don't need spells. I'm an AD carry. Right click.
I did do that. Lethal tempoed.
Lethal tempoed all over him.
Yeah, exactly. And TES, the game still feels very different, I think, from the previous one where it was back and forth. But the team fights have been closer this time around. This was the first one where it did feel like Hanwha was able to get a trade. But even then, it was a lot more contentious. Flash is going to be almost available, and TES looking proactively.
Yeah, they're moving. They have 5-men bot. Zeka has the TP available. Will they commit it? This is a risky dive to go for. Pina is there, as is Zeus. And now the TP comes in. Are they going to spot it? But they are very far in there. Kanavi between two towers. Here comes the Akali. 369 trying to zone him out. The stun goes down onto Zeus. They're trying to burst him down, and they kill Zeus immediately. And now the hook lands onto Zeka, but in goes Peanut. Varus is in trouble again, and they get the kill onto Jackie. He is killed off by Zeka, and Zeka's going crazy. Viper is firing. You can't go for a dive like that against HLE. They will punish you every single time.
And TES, they knew. They were very aware, and they still continue on the play. If Akali has teleport, that play just doesn't work. It is closer than I initially thought it was going to be because the arrow misses, and Zeus does kind of just run into 4 people and gets blown up. Kanavi gets taken down on the back. But it's the Vi that ends up being the difference maker. As Peanut says, oh, you're talking about how it's only unfun for one person? Knocked away 4 people with that ultimate. Got to Jackie, he's taken down. Viper, completely unmatched again. And Zeka's burst damage is too much to handle. And I was saying, this game, you know, it feels like, look at that cliff!
Yeah, that is a tough one. I mean, after the last fight, yeah, it did go in the favor of HLE, but at least TES got the Dragon, you got 3 kills.
Look at that
this time it's 5 for 1.
It's a nice up and down. Yeah, and an inner.
Yeah, and an inner. You are now so far ahead. It is a 3,000 gold lead for Peanut. Just ridiculous. Took offense to Chronicler saying he couldn't carry as hard as on the Wukong. He's like, watch this, buddy.
I apologize, Peanut. I am familiar with your game, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. As we'll see if Zeus gets taken down here again. Has been kind of a punching bag. As will get spotted.
Go for him. Kanavi charging in. Zeus trying to get out to safety. Doesn't have the flash. It's going to be a couple seconds. He's trying to wait for it. Creme on the other side, though, is caught by Peanut. Peanut is unstoppable. You can say that again. And Zeus slides out to safety. Kanavi going to keep chasing. Can he connect with the wind becomes lightning? He can't do it. And it's Otacon on top. You kill Creme. You escape on the bot side. And it feels like this game is out of control. HLE are running the map again.
Yeah, I've seen that play before where everyone collapses onto one player and he just makes it out. Objective on the other end of the map gets taken. And the mid lane turret, it's something for TES, but the gold lead, as we pointed out, feeling a lot worse. The immediate impact of this Otacon is obviously not going to be quite as apparent. The flowers are strong, but it's particularly if you can get the buff as
they're
another collapse.
For this. There's no flash on Zeus, no ulti as well. Flash forward from Chris, they're going to lock him down. But can he just get over the wall to safety? We'll see. Kanavi looking, he's trying to go for the sidestep, trying to get safety. Kanavi just going to wrap around on him. Delight peeling, he sidesteps, he dodges. Zeus will not be stopped, but he gets hit by the hail of arrows, and the piercing arrow finally takes him down. TES throw everything and they are rewarded with the kill. Now have Zeka and Peanut overstayed their welcome. They are spotted out here. Can TES get more? They absolutely need to. The arrow not going to connect. Zeka, though, could get in the backline here. Jackie looking. They're trying to go in for Peanut. They are hitting him with the piercing out. Zeka in the middle of everyone. Zeka trying to get some work done. Buying time as Delight and Viper have arrived. Peanut gets another. Zeka takes one, too. It's Jackie on the side, going to get knocked out. Punched into outer space by Peanut as he is running this game. 11, 1, and 10.
And it's a small moment of elation as Zeus finally goes down, but the investment is just too heavy. It costs too much. As while Zeus was getting collapsed upon, Creme gets caught out. Delight finds him, able to take him. And then here initially it looks a little dicey. The arrow doesn't hit. Peanut and Zeka are far out of the curve, but let's be real here. These are two of the most fed members on Hanwha Life. All the gold is on them. And as the reinforcements arrive, TES have to watch their health bars dissipate. The dragon gets taken. The fight won by Hanwha.
I mean, you stare at Jackie in every fight, he just can't participate. I mean, he's trying to walk the safest possible path. He's walking around the outside of the blue buff. As soon as he even gets in spell range, he's Q-flashed and crashed down on by Delight and then instantly killed. They have just had such good target selection. The way that the HLE topside creates space for Viper is truly incredible. They just soak so many spells that even if the fight early on looks pretty good for TES, you realize they've spent too much on one of those frontliners. They barely survive. You look back at Viper, no one has touched him. He's got his summoners, lethal tempo stacked, and you just know it is curtains in the fight. And now 369 going to get the bad news as Zeka is here as well. But can they punish? Because Kanavi's in the area. Zeka going to have to use the ulti to safety.
That's
perfect execution.
Yeah,
will jump back.
As any jungler will know, trying to actually lock down Akali, kind of a nightmare.
Remember when Shroud didn't get seen by the tower?
Yeah, that was...
those were dark times.
That was something.
Creme going to be looking here for Viper. There's the depth charge. Viper will flash back. Creme does find the arrow to follow up. The cleanse is going to be forced. Peanut on the side, looking to threaten.
That's a big win. Both summoners now taken here from Viper. Obviously, TES needs to be careful not to fall into the trap of thinking, okay, if Ashe doesn't have sums, we blow everything, because there are a lot of other problems on the map.
Yeah.
But it does mean that Viper is a lot more susceptible to getting taken down in that backline. And that's a lot of consistent damage that would still be gone for Hanwha Life if TES can manage.
I mean, Peanut has a GA.
Yes.
That is criminal.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up.
I mean, we see Zeus finishing his second item, but Peanut, 11, 1, and 10. Just monster gold lead here. And does have the full GA. You know if he's getting the backline, someone's dying with him. And even if you spend all your resources to kill him, you're going to have to do it again.
Yeah, I think one time is going to be hard enough as is, Zil. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, buddy.
As we do have a possible collapse, 369, use the Dominus
There's
earlier.
no tier 2, going to be forcing that flash. Viper says, you force mine, I'll force yours right back. Jackie's in the area. Delight going to be looking, maybe gone too far forward. Viper is around as well. Can they punish him? Delight going to be the first here to fall. Peanut and Zeka look like they want this fight. Zeus coming on the flank, and Jackie's in trouble once again. Jackie getting pressure back. He has to flash out. Kanavi on the other side fighting Viper, but it's Viper who stands, who fires, who kills him again. And it's Zeus and Zeka taking down Jackie. That's a triple for Zeka. Can he get the quadra? TES trying to hope for 369 to pull off a miracle, but they just can't do it. It's the ace, it's the base, it's the 2-0 lead, looking like it's coming for HLE.
And we go from a clean ace 3 games in a row to a 5-4-1. And that's not gonna be enough, as the Nexus might not fall. But the game that was already looking dire, a 5k gold deficit, that TES were desperately trying to cling on to after the previous fight. Realistically, I don't think this fight should have worked. Delight just goes in, but it's the amount of gold that's available. He still stays alive for a good amount of time, locks them all into place, and then it's the combination. That, Akali, and Vi. Everyone knows if those champions get fed, the amount of stuff you can do is just so limited, right? It's so insanely hard. It's point and click. Zeka just gets to hit a free E, gets to jump into the back line, and because of that, Viper, Kanavi tries his best, but Viper was more of an afterthought as Peanut and Zeka just run over the entirety. It stays on the flank there as well, just drawing as much attention, getting the CC done as the Aatrox.
And I will say, I got to give some credit to 369. He has been making it work in these fights, but it just hasn't been enough. And now Zeka and Peanut going in again, and Kanavi incredibly low. The corruption chain's going to get sidestepped and into the backline again. Jackie is dead for another time this game. Crisp is sure to follow. Creme trying to get out of there. We'll see if he can do it. Chain's back in, but just to die. 369 out alone, and he knows this game is over. Gonna stand and dance as he watches his hopes crumble away in this series.
And the game number one, that given Hanwha Life's track record was always going to be an uphill battle, but the game number two has felt quite dire for TES for a long time, and this is just another confirmation as Peanut and Zeka obliterate the backline. They don't even need half the players. Azael, they can just do it. Between the two of them, the Light providing just a little bit of CC, and 369 stands there knowing that there is no delaying the inevitable. Hanwha Life, again, the Nexus technically hasn't fallen yet. They went for Baron instead. They'll be picking up the Dragon next, but with those two inhibs,
the Nexus may not have fallen, but when you're standing and dancing as they kill you, the spirits may have.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No, that is not a good sign at all, as 369 knew he was toast, and just going to kind of accept his fate from that spot. He has been kind of the hope for them this game, but Zeus now even ahead.
I'm going to go for the
as
Dragon.
It's a 5,000 gold lead for Peanut, and they are just ready for this one to be over. Creme getting pushed back. Peanut just going for a 3-level lead in the jungle. He's level 16. And Jackie knows he's going to be the target again. Has no flash this time. 7 deaths for him already, as they have just been laser focused on this Varus. HLE threatening, Hex Flash getting channeled here from Delight. Will he go forward? He's gonna go in there, diving the base again. Of course, Creme is gone, and the fight is over before it even begins. Zeka chasing after, knocks down Crisp. Kanavi trying to stand, trying to fight. They're gonna dive the fountain and take him down. Jackie, there is no safe haven. Retreating into the well, they want him, and they're gonna get him. Insult to injury, HLE will not be denied. Zeka doesn't even fall to the fountain. It's 2-0, and it's HLE 1 game away from the finals.
Of the back of the Nut God, as well as Zeka doing his best cosplay of 2022. Hanwha Life go up to a devastating 2-0 victory. That previous game, in hindsight, didn't feel quite so bad, because this one felt like, again, the early traits, they felt a lot more even. But then the moment that the actual fights came through, that Peanut and Zeka got to run wild,
Peanut is looking unstoppable. 52 kills. HLE are 1 game away from the finals. We'll be back after the break.